Hey guys, and welcome to a new episode. And today we're going to be doing some work on the engine. So in this box we actually got new throttle bodies and cold air intake with filters and pipes. So everything's going to be installed. We're going to begin with taking off the front bumper cover for the engine and all the other components. So stick around. Yeah guys, as you saw in the time lapse, taking all components off. So we began with the front bumper, the engine cover and air filters, the hoses, and now we're at the stage of taking off the throttle bodies. We have 4 bolts. I already taken off the throttle body on this side, but just want to show you guys how it actually looked inside. From this side, it looks really clean. This side, no. A lot of oil and in there, so a good cleanup. I had to take off the 4 bolts, then the cooling hoses, and I think whilst we're at it, we're gonna take off the intake, port it up, make it smooth and nice for the cold air to go into the engine. So we're gonna do this properly and 100%, just making it capable of more horsepower. So hopefully we're gonna make some big numbers on the dyno in a couple of weeks. Okay, so we took off the throttle bodies, all the hoses, all the connectors that's on the intake manifold. So now it's time to lift it off. So this is how it looks, and a little bit of oil. It's maybe a bit of over compression in it, but yeah, we have to dig in, check it out, and see if we can port this sucker up. So next up, I would say it's actually taking out the injectors. Whilst we're at it, we can change the spark plugs, we change the oil, and as you've seen, we're gonna prepare for the intake to be ported, and the manifold's going to be ported. I'm just going to say not ported, or more of a polish, taking all the casting slag away, just polish it up for better airflow. But next step is actually dismounting the injectors and the spark plugs, and then taking out the manifold and polish it. I would say everything we do right now is just before we're gonna take it to the dyno. Let's see, I think it's like 300 horsepower right now, or 320 maybe. I haven't checked, and I would love to actually been driving the car to the dyno and just see the stock horsepower with everything stock, but I'm way ahead of myself into the project, so sorry guys, but we're gonna see how much we're gonna get out of this car. So let's see, injectors going out. I just had to loosen up some bolts for the inlet of the gasoline, and now for the injectors, 4 bolts. And yeah, there we go. Trying to lift this sucker up and see how the gasket looks. Looks pretty good actually. Let's see if we can share some light for you. This is how the VQ engine looks in the intake. Gasket looks okay. I'm gonna just clean up this mess. And yeah, hell, let's see if we can polish this up in the inlets. So yeah, I'm over to the spark plugs and clean this sucker up. Oh yeah, one big tip right now: put something into the intake so you don't drop any tools or stupid stuff in there. So we just loosen up the coil packs with some 10mm bolts on every one. And just a small tip, this is maybe not the sequence of the engine, but just make some notes where the coil pack should be. So guys, bought some new spark plugs and they weren't cheap. They're super expensive, but what the heck, it's all for the horsepower, right? So what we bought is the Iridium DF spark plugs. So the old one looked similar like this. Come on, focus. Thank you. And then the new ones, a little bit of a difference, right? Hey guys, so it's the next day here. We're gonna keep on with the engine compartment. It's around about 12 now. We came out to the workshop again. We went home at 4 this night. So I think it's time for some Monster. No, too early for a beer. We'll take a Monster. This one is for you, TJ. Shout out. Yeah guys, we're into modifying the front to get these big hoses through here, or the pipes I would say. So as you can see, this will not fit, it doesn't go through there. So we're gonna open it up on both sides. This side is a bit trickier. We have the air conditioning tubing there, but I'm gonna just begin using my thermal 120 grit paper and take away the material enough so that we can go through with the piping.
2,000 years later.
So we're ready with this side. I'm gonna just sand it down so it's nice and flush. I'm just gonna show you. Tubing goes right in. No problems, no interference, anything. Now to the tricky side. We have air condition in the way. And yeah, hopefully we can make this work. We have to see if we maybe have to move the horn, but that's not so important. So I'm actually gonna try to assemble everything. We have the filters that's going to sit behind the bumper. We're gonna try to mock everything up. My goal is that we're gonna power coat these in the color concept that's gonna go through the whole car. And we have all the hardware. I'm gonna do nicer hose clamps. They're gonna be provided from LMR.se here in Sweden. They have awesome products, so I'm still waiting for those, but we're gonna prepare these. So guys, the tubing is actually ready. It looks amazing, I would say, and I hope this is gonna be giving us some results on the dyno. But yeah, this is actually how I made room for the tubing. It's not all connected because of the intake is off, but here you can see the tubing goes through and it's gonna go up to the manifolds. Yeah, so filter install done. I think I'm gonna do some brackets just to secure the filters not from shaking when the engine revs. So I'm thinking about maybe welding something on here and making a bracket up to the plastic holders and do some nice rivets or something. I don't want this to actually hit like this. They are pretty sturdy later on when they're connected up to the manifold, but just to make it nice and secure. But yeah, it's done. Didn't take too much long time. As I said, I only used my DeWalt machine, so with the 120 grit on it, and sanded it down. Be patient. Don't take away too much. Then you're gonna have a rattle can in the front bumper. But looks cool, and hopefully it's gonna give us some more horsepower. And what we actually did here, me and Robin, we did remove the water tank and the canister for power steering, and we moved them in front of here instead. So we custom made a bracket, and so we have the power steering here in the center, and we're gonna reroute the hoses, and then actually we did some brackets to hold up the water container for the cooling water.